Okay, guys, we're going to go on with chapter 16 on the endocrine system. But before we do that, or I told you guys I was going to post some video links, and I kind of forgot to do it. But so there's our previous videos, lectures 1 through 5. And here we got This Is Not Yellow, Fovea Demo, and McGurk Effect. Guys, it's not for points. They're just cool little short, couple 3-minute videos that demonstrate various stuff we talked about in the sensory system. This one's about a 10-minute video, but as you see here, you only have to watch up to the 218 point. And then they're relatively short too, like a couple 3 minutes, like I said. But anyway, there's no points over it, but there's no assignment you got to do. But just check them out. They're cool. Okay, so chapter 16, the endocrine system. For one thing, we need to write down. Oops, wait, I'm not quite ready. One thing we need to write down is what endocrinology is. So there you got the study of. Because when you hear endocrine, if the first thing that pops in your head is hormones, then awesome. But here's a somewhat official definition: the study of hormones and the glands that make them. All right, so the study of hormones and the glands that produce them. The term endocrine is really referring to the gland. So you see that endo right there. Endo means inside, and crine means to secrete. Excuse me. So inside secrete. Wherever you want to write it down here, I'll just pop it in there. It says no duct. These guys don't have a tube like a sweat gland does or something. So they secrete hormones, but they secrete them inside the gland through blood vessels that run through the gland itself. Exocrine glands are outside secrete. These guys are outside secreting, I guess. But these guys, again, wherever you want to write it, it's over here somewhere. Here, I'll put it there. They got a duct. They got a tube. Like I mentioned, sweat glands a while ago. They've got a little tube that leads from the bulb of gland up to the skin surface. So guys, it says like the nervous system, the endocrine system is a regulatory system. But unlike the nervous system, which uses electrical signals and chemicals too, remember that uses the neurotransmitters. The endocrine system is going to regulate stuff via hormones. So like both the endocrine system and the nervous system. For example, regulate heart rate. But the way your nervous system regulates heart rate, at least the way it sends the signal to the heart, is through nerves. Through the electrical signals, action potentials, and stuff like that travels through the nerves, and then it squirts, neurotransmitter on the heart cells itself. But a hormone, the endocrine system is going to use these hormones, which are chemicals that are going to be released into the blood. So it's not going to be not really an electrical component here. So like a kind of a good analogy, like I said, the nerves are wired in with the nervous system. So to go with like TV, the nervous system's like old school, like cable TV. So where you've got a direct physical link that's plugged into the actual television set. This is the endocrine system's more like radio or like satellite TV or something like that. Like Dish Network or Direct TV or whatever. So Dish Network satellites beam their stuff everywhere, and then only people that have a specific receiver for it get to pick up the signal. And that's kind of how this hormone setup's going to work. So they're going to get the chemical signal is going to get beamed all over the body, but only a few cells are going to get to pick it up. Okay, so here's our definition of a hormone. What's a hormone? Cut and paste right that. A chemical messenger that travels in the blood. That's kind of an important part of it too, guys. If I didn't say that a little while ago, these guys travel in the blood. And it has physiological effects on target cells. All right, so chemical messenger that travels via blood and has physiological effects on target cells. So what's a target cell? Target cell is a cell with this. A cell that has a receptor for a specific hormone. All right, has a receptor for a specific hormone. The receptor is kind of going to be like the satellite dish in our TV analogy before. It's going to let you pick up the signal. But they're not, well, here. Yeah, they're like satellite dishes. Check that out. All right, so what they are is they're proteins, and here's where they're kind of not like satellite dishes. The hormone is actually going to physically attach to it. So guys, if you remember in the chapter on the sensory system, we talked about receptors, But there they were in the sensory system. Remember, those were cells that transduce environmental stimuli into, brain talk, electrical signals, and stuff like that. So remember, they're like photoreceptors that respond to light and chemoreceptors that respond to chemicals. But we did receptors previously in chapter 11 also when we talked about the nervous system. In those synapses, remember I drew little pictures. I drew them like little satellite dishes. In those synapses on the postsynaptic cells, those receptors, and that's what the neurotransmitter attaches to, and that's what kicks in the effect in the cells when the neurotransmitter attaches to those receptors. This is very similar to that. So the hormone is going to attach to these receptors, and that's what's going to kick in the effect, either directly or indirectly in some way. All right. Well, okay. Yeah. Receptors. Protein. Oh wait, we already did that. But that reminds me, I forgot to tell you something else. Note: the number of receptors a cell has is not constant. Here, just write down these terms and wait, there we go. Upregulation, downregulation. So if a cell wants to get a bigger effect from a hormone, it can upregulate. It can make more receptors and get a bigger effect. So it'd be like if your house, using the satellite analogy, it'd be like if you wanted to pick up a signal better from Dish Network or whoever, your house could like start sprouting out more satellite dishes or something, to pick up a better signal. And downregulates the opposite. You'll pull back on the number of receptors if you want to get the cell wants to get a lesser effect. Okay. Here's one thing I was going to show you guys. Nothing you got to write down absolutely at all, but it's an interesting disorder that illustrates this. If you guys get, I'm just going to Wikipedia, so just follow along with me. Here, I'll just move this around. There's a disorder called androgen insensitivity syndrome. Sometimes they used to call it testicular feminization syndrome, but it's a disorder. Here it is. Look, it's a disorder where you get a mutation in the receptor for testosterone. So testosterone is produced in the body, but without that receptor, it doesn't have any effect. So here, look down here real quick. Oh, here you can see it. XY carrier. There's kind of more to it going on. If you guys are interested, go to the Wikipedia page and check this out. But the Cliff Notes version, the short version, remember usually guys, I've got an XY karyotype. So remember that's the male sex chromosomes. Remember girls usually XX. So a boy embryo that's XY, it develops testes. The testes produce testosterone, and then the testosterone leads to male typical development. And if you're a girl, it's really, they're not really per se like girl hormones. There's we're sort of set up to develop into a female by default. So in the absence of testosterone, you get female development. So what you're going to get in these individuals is you're going to have an embryo that is an XY genetic male, and they're going to develop testes, and they're going to produce testosterone. But because there's a mutation that breaks essentially the testosterone receptor, it's not going to have any effect. So you still get female development because it's like the hormone's not even there. So if you guys look, here I'm just going to move the thing around here a little bit. Here, let me pull up that picture. I'm going to expand it. I don't know how to expand it. But here, I'll just kind of move it around the thing. This is the picture from Wikipedia. All these ladies have androgen insensitivity syndrome. So if you look at their karyotype, they're XY like I am. But if you look at them, it's total female typical development for at least this version of it. Like you can't tell them apart from any other girl, except like one way they'll find out. Again, go read this page, but if you're interested. But like a lot of times the girls will, at puberty they won't have menses, they won't menstruate. And then that's when they go in and they find out that they don't have ovaries. They've got testes that are non-descended in the body. I don't think they have a uterus or anything like that either. So the internal girl parts aren't there. But it's a pretty interesting disorder. Oops. So yeah, go check that out if interested. Nothing on the test on it, but it's pretty interesting. All right, this is on the test though, so go back here. Chemical classification of hormones. So there are two broad types of hormones: amino acid based and the steroids. So nothing to write there. All right, so amino acid based hormones. This group can be split into two subcategories. All right, check, and then down here's where we need to write something down. Modified amino acids. The modified amino acids are called monoamine hormones. So right here, just paste it in. Yeah, I know it's going to break it up, but yeah, just in that blank there somewhere, right? Monoamine, single amino acid has been modified. But for example, epinephrine's a monoamine hormone. But go over here, you can also have not one amino acid, but many, excuse me, many amino acids in a chain, and those are called protein hormones because a protein's a bunch of amino acids in a chain. Insulin is a protein hormone. All right, important note: amino acid-based hormones are soluble in water. That means they dissolve in water. So if you dissolve in water, you dissolve in blood because blood's 90-something% water. So they got no problem dissolving right into the blood. They can travel through the body and they can go wherever they need to go. It says, however, they can't enter their target cells. Oops, sorry, I forgot to actually write my thing down here. Hey guys, go back. There's something I could probably squeeze it in somewhere else. Go back to receptors here real quick. So we got proteins, which the hormone attaches and that kicks in effect. All right, that's true. But this is go ahead and put it here. So these receptors have different locations. We'll talk about that in the next section. But it says receptors can be on the plasma membrane, remember the outer kind of border of the cell, or they can be internal. All right, now go back to wherever it was we left off. Okay, so amino acid-based hormones are soluble in water, so they dissolve in blood because blood's mainly water. So they got no problem traveling to where they need to go. So, however, they can't enter their target cells because... Oh, yeah, let me just do this whole thing. Hold on a second. That's what that plasma membrane's made out of. The plasma membrane's made out of lipids. It's made out of fats. There's a phospholipid bilayer. There's other stuff in it, too, but proteins and cholesterol and stuff. But if you dissolve, that's Italian dressing, that whole water and oil don't mix thing. If you dissolve in water, you get along with water, you don't like lipids, and vice versa. So when that hormone gets to this plasma membrane, it can't get inside. So you're going to make it so that the hormone don't have to go inside. And the guy that figured this out got a Nobel Prize. All right, so the receptor is going to be external for here. So the receptor, it's called a G protein receptor. It's going to be on the plasma membrane. So it's literally going to stick off like a satellite dish on a house. And then the hormone's going to attach. And then that's going to kick in a complex chemical chain reaction on the inside of the cell. And that's called the second messenger. So the first messenger, the hormone, doesn't actually go inside the cell and directly do the effect. It's the second messenger that directly kicks in the effect. And then that brings about some physiological effect, whatever the hormone's going to do. Okay. Oh, wait. Did I mess something up? Oh, yeah, I did. Sorry, guys. I meant to put that there. My bad. Second messenger system. Okay. So, here, sorry. Here, however, the entire plasma membranes are lipids. All right. So what I just said, guys, remember that if you dissolve in lipids, you're not going to dissolve in water, and vice versa. So just say the hormone can't cross the lipids of the plasma membrane or something like that. Sorry. Okay. Example here, just to kind of finish up. Here, and there's a picture like this in your book, and you don't have to exactly worry about it. But for example, we're going to do something called a cyclic AMP second messenger system, and you can see how it's really complicated. There's all sorts of stuff going on, but one of the components is something called cyclic AMP. It's related to ATP. This is cyclic adenosine monophosphate. Here, there's epinephrine. It works that way. Okay, so anyway, those chemical chain reactions are really complicated, but here, for example, the cyclic AMP second messenger system. Again, you don't have to worry about the details or anything like that. And we're out of time, so I'll hit you on the glycoproteins later.